Okay, so as I have said before, I am leaving New York City. I am leaving my office, my apartment, traveling the world, running the companies remotely because most of our stuff's in online education, and having a major life change and a major switch to my business, to everybody around me's life. It's just really a fast-paced, crazy time for me right now, and I really want to discuss this office. I want to discuss the origins of School of Cards and kind of, tell you how I got here and how I'm recording this video to you. And first, if you would have talked to me when I was 21, I never would have thought I would be in poker still. 21-year-old Blake would be like, you'll probably play maybe once every other week, but you're not going to be that serious. And it's true. Poker was always a means to an end to me. So I saw the movie Rounders, and I was like, literally, I want to have that same story. I want to use poker to make a lot of money and then get a JD MBA, go into mergers and acquisitions, and already have it paid for with my poker bankroll or whatever. But basically, ups and downs, variance, tons of issues, not really being a shitty player and not actually being that competent. It humbled me to how hard and difficult that could be, and it took a long time before I actually started profiting. But long story short, along the way, I started to get in this concept of teaching. I love teaching. I was a psychology professor. I teach a lot. I find it to be one of the most amazing things. The problem is teachers don't get paid shit in society. And I saw that early on that, like, listen, I'm making $60 teaching as an adjunct professor at CUNY. If I go into academia, maybe I make $100K. I mean, like, come on. And I decided to start teaching things on my own. So the first thing was School of Cards. And my first class was at the Grand Hyatt in New York, where I taught an introduction to poker class, just basically how to play poker. 6-hour class. I actually remember like walking into it. Like it's so weird in life how it just moves so quickly. Anyways, so my second class was at the YMCA on Houston Street, and at the YMCA I taught a class called Profitable No Limit Hold'em, and it was a little bit more of an advanced class. And then I had this piece of shit website up called schoolcards.com, obviously bad website, and essentially what happened is Living Social contacted me. So Living Social back then was just getting started. They had a big email list in New York City, and it's not Living Social in the Groupon that you know today. It was way more unique, way more special. It was really cool. They had one unique experience every day, and people actually really liked it. And they said, listen, Blake, we want to work with you. We want to promote you. We think School of Cards is going to do great, so on and so forth. So at that time, I was doing pretty well financially with poker and with all my different things, and I was like, I can afford to get an office. I can afford to make this happen, and that was a condition. And they wouldn't allow me to actually post a deal unless I had a physical space, right? So I got a physical space. I looked all around New York City. I wanted something new and different. I mean, this space has been through so much stuff, guys. If you were to see a timeline, some of you watching this video have been here when it was smaller, and you always comment about how the fact that I've changed it so much, I modified it so much, but I've put like at least 80K into this space, like fixing it up and restoring the bricks and making it really something that's special to me and like my home. And it's like weird because I'm like leaving my home. Like I have more of a sentimental attachment to this office than I do the apartment. Anyways, so I met the love of my life here. I met all of the friends here. I met tons of you here. It's just fucking crazy, and I'm leaving it. Anyways, okay, I know I just said anyways. But so I did my first class on Living Social. I go through all this stuff. You want to hear a funny story? So okay, when I first got this office space, I liked spaces. I like interior decorating. I like that shit. I think art's great, but walking into a physical space and experiencing something from that space is incredible. Like whether that's relaxation or excitement or whatever, it's just really cool to have that. And I wanted the same effect. So at that time, I was doing really well with poker, and I went to Restoration Hardware, and I ran up like $30,000 in furniture. Now as a business person, I would never do this, but back then, young Blake just thought the money would never end, so he didn't understand variance. But anyways, so I go to Crate and Barrel, and I go to Restoration Hardware, and I put together an entire dossier of what I need, and then I'm about to place the order. Like we were back and forth. If anybody been to Restoration Hardware, they like work with like a private person. It's pretty cool, and you can like kind of list things that you want. It's a cool experience. Anyways, I had the worst downswing of my life before I actually purchased the order, and I lost a considerable amount of money. So I ended up like downscaling to like Crate and Barrel and IKEA and stuff like that. And I remember saying like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can't purchase it." But I remember like walking with my father into IKEA to not IKEA, Crate and Barrel, and like buying a table and a couch, and like, wow, this is like my first space. And for like a 23-year-old kid or 22-year-old kid at the time, I was living home with my parents. So it was like it was like my college experience. Like it was independence, and it meant so much to me. And it was cool to say that, like, this was my office. Like I felt cool and legit. And I think that was hard for somebody who, and while I was legit in a lot of ways, the majority of my money came from poker. Like I wasn't, CUNY was making me an okay amount of money, but poker is where the source of income was. And I guess there was some feelings of illegitimacy. I don't know, something weird about not being a functional member. And I don't believe in that bullshit anymore. But when I was younger, not taking a traditional path, while I always knew I was going to do that, it felt a little bit different or weird. I can't explain it. So I like that officialness. So I went on Living Social, and this was what happened, right? This is, anybody who runs a business probably knows this. But I was like, all right, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to put this thing on Living Social. I'm going to sell it for $50. I got to give them their cut. They're getting 40% or whatever they got. I'll make $30 per person. I'll sell 2,000 because, everybody wants to play poker in New York City. 2,000 times 60, boom, I'll bang that shit out in 3 months. I'll make $120,000. Great. This is great. So it goes on Living Social. It sells like 150 people. I'm like, oh my God. And then that was like the first step of like learning like things aren't going to always work out the way you think you are. And it's not going to always be easy. And it was like the first years ago. I have tons of stories like that. Anyways. But then I started teaching classes, started teaching more classes, and then things started to happen, and more and more people came, and to the point of where every single weekend I was teaching a class called Profitable and Limit Hold'em that was filled every single weekend. So Saturday, Sunday I was filled. Saturday, Sunday, and no life. I was always teaching, and the problem was I had no friends because the reality is their schedules were the 9 to 5, and I was accommodating the 9 to 5 population. So my whole days would be free, but basically I was teaching like 60 to 100 hours. Like the amount of teaching that went on in this space is absolutely insane. I would teach CUNY Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'd come back here. I'd teach classes at night from 7 to 10. I'd also from the nonverbal group and from Beyond Tell, nonverbal group and for school cards. And then all weekend I'd be freaking teaching nonstop. I'd play on a big screen TV online poker some there before Black Friday. Just so much teaching. And essentially what happened was I started Beyond Tells, and that was like my entry into online education. But I also learned a lot about, I try to stress this so many ways, but like I'm not just a poker player, I'm not just a poker coach. I am utterly obsessed with like teaching. And not just because I care about my students, but it's like an obsession for me. And I want people to go from point A to point B as quick as possible in the most efficient way possible. And that's essentially what I'm about, because I know I'm not going to stop teaching. I'm going to be teaching for the rest of my life. There's not just poker. I'm going to be teaching human behavior, everything. I love teaching. I love thinking about the most effective ways to teach. So in that obsession, I started to see, weekend classes don't work as well as I think that they do. And the reason why is because people go into a 2-day class, they get hit with education, they get hit with motivation or a jolt of information, and then they go back into their own world, and they slowly go back to how they used to be. And behavioral change is small doses. It takes a larger amount of time in order to train the thought process. You have to have integration between learning information and delivering it, learning and delivering it, and everybody's different. And all this stuff I started to see like, wow, this is not the most effective thing. So then I fell in love with online education. I was like, listen, I can do a better job online than I can do live. And since then, I've been on this nonstop path of improving online education. And like, if those of you who have taken any of my courses in the past, what's coming is you have no fucking idea what is coming in terms of experiences and all the work that goes into delivering. I don't just sit there and record a fucking, like so many, that's the thing, like some good poker players will just, all right, let's record a video about a hand I played and blah, but they don't put in the work to actually make sure that their students understand the information that's being said. And that's education in every realm. Like they don't genuinely care. And just this office is like a testament to that, in the sense that all the hours dedicated to learning how people learn and learning how to deliver information in a way that truly not only resonates and people understand, but that they truly get and that changes their game is what this is about. And basically, now after so long, I feel like really emotional, like I'm about to cry, but now after so long, it's just, I don't need a giant office. All my courses are online. I could technically film and run production crews from all around the world for School of Cards. And I'm going to be in poker for the next year, without a doubt. Beyond Tells 2.0 is being released, which is absolutely insane compared to anything that I've ever done. It's completely redone. It's insane. You'll learn more. I'm not going to shut up about Tell soon. Just don't you wait. But I don't need a physical space for poker. And the next year is going to be about poker. I'm going to be playing a lot, moving out. But eventually I'll move out of poker and I'll come back to New York City and start my other company, the Non-Verbal Group. But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of rambling here, but it's weird for me. It's like a very, like a special moment. I'm really leaving part one of my life. Like, it's not even chapter. It's like part one is done and part two begins. I mean, my girlfriend were just talking about this, and I mean, my girlfriend and I slept right there. Right there, we slept, like, on the floor. So special. So, and me and Eddie sat hours and hours over there, just like looking at footage and grinding out things, and Zuli and I are breaking down Beyond Tells footages, and everybody that has been through this office and have made such a difference. And you watching this, I wouldn't be here without you people that are watching this video. Some of you who drive me absolutely fucking crazy with your emails that don't address any of the things that I talk about, and some of you with the most trolly comments in the world. Like, I appreciate every single bit of it. I have met so many amazing friends, those of you who have been in my classes that I still know, and it's just been an amazing past 7 years. Not without, I'm telling you the good stuff. There's a lot of bad stuff, a lot of, not bad stuff, but a lot of tough stuff. But that makes you stronger as a business owner, and that makes you prepared for things going forward. And listen, if I'm not getting shot at and I don't have cancer, it's not that hard. I can deal with no hours of sleep and hard work. It's nothing compared to what other people have to go through. Never forget that. Anyways, so just the next chapter, or the next part, is going to get quite crazy. It's going to be a lot of stuff for me. It's going to be a lot of difference. I've grown as a person. We've grown as a company. Everyone that works for me has grown significantly. We're adding more members to our team. There's a lot coming. But this is the end of a cool part of my life, and I'm excited to start sharing more of the future stuff. I do a lot of cool shit that most people don't know about, and I really want to start sharing it more. So, finally, to anybody who's been a part of School of Cards in any way, shape, or form, from liking a video to not liking a video, to commenting about they don't like my style, or they don't like something about my video but you liked other videos, and then to anybody who's ever purchased a class, given me their email, signed up for anything, sent me an email, insulted me, asked me for a refund, to all of you, thank you. Just sincerely from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I am a completely different person because of the feedback from poker players, and it's been a privilege to make, and I'm not stopping. It's just something about this office is like making me emotional. But it's been an absolute privilege, and thank you so much for your contributions. And tomorrow you'll probably see the first vlog of mine, which is going to be on the way, vlog episode number 1, WSOP vlog or something like that, because we're all heading to Vegas, and I'm going to be there for 40 days before we start traveling, playing some tournaments. But you'll see a lot of antics because the whole team is staying in a house together. Me, Zuli, Eddie, Molly, everybody's there. So it's going to be fun. But thanks again, and it's like, what time is it? 5 o'clock in the morning, so I'm going to get some sleep.